Alrighty guys, hello, I'm sorry for the delay as we're a couple minutes into our first match of the day here in the Masters Coliseum. Serral versus Q. Give me one sec. Need to tab us out for a moment. My camera's not even on. Sorry, I just need to fix something on the PC without showing you guys my screen. Any second now, computer? Any second. That'll do. That'll do. Alright, Masters Coliseum action, guys. Hello! Hello, sorry, I've not been able to do an intro or anything. We're probably going to have Twitch chat. In fact, Twitch ads are going to play right now. They've already played. Fuck, sorry, guys. Hello, sorry, I've been on dog watch. Ellie is not... Well, actually, this morning she's doing a lot better, but she was at the vets again yesterday. She stayed at the vets for a few hours. Apparently that was enough for her to decide that she's getting better, because now she's full of life, so I couldn't leave her while Helen was out. And, yeah, it's a thing. But we're here, we're ready to cast some Starcraft 2. It is the Masters Coliseum. Very excited, genuinely, to bring you guys some of these games. I actually think we're going to have a very good time. It's a fun group. It's just spread over a couple of days. So today, 3 best of 3s, the first of which is this Serral versus Q series. So forgive me for being a little bit late to talking about this one, but this should be a very good matchup. Really feeling this right from the get-go. Yeah, I think we're going to have a very, very, very good time. So, without further ado, obviously, Q is in the bottom left and Serral is in the upper right, and we have got TVZ action underway as we speak for game number 1 of this best of 3. A few Hellions are going to move up, a couple Queens are going to come across. As we just have the Factory going to move off of the Reactor, and the Cloak Banshee's on the way, so Q is trying to set up some harassment here for these early stages against his opponent. I mean, Q has honestly not been, to me, the hottest Terran as of late, right? He's been kind of a little bit silent, hasn't really been playing in as much, but this is a big tournament. This is our first big tournament in a while outside of Home Story, so if there's a time for players to have started actually heating up and looking a little bit better and playing a little bit more strongly, this would be kind of that time, right? This would be the time for Q to say, right, yeah, you know what? I got back in practice for this. This is what I got back into practicing for, right? So, considering that, maybe we can see a Q who looks a little bit stronger than what I've been seeing. And that's really just not even really a criticism. It's just he hasn't even been playing in that much. So I don't even know if he's not even been looking good versus we've just not seen him a whole lot, which is also a pretty fair, kind of factor, right? So yes, excited to see what he does. Obviously, always excited to see Serral. We got to see a little bit of Serral at Home Story Cup, but that was never going to be enough of Serral. Very excited to see what he can do. I think he's going to look pretty good in this group. Astrea is actually a fun opponent for Serral. I always feel like Astrea gives some pretty good matches there. So yeah, definitely thinking that that's going to be a an interesting one as well. Definitely something to be watching for. See how... Yeah, I mean, we're not see Serral. We're only going to see Serral in this one match a day versus Cure. He will play Astrea and Shin tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely think we've got a couple of very fun matches coming up from these guys. I think it's going to be some fun times indeed between a lot of them. So yeah, we're 6 minutes in on the ley lines. Obviously, this game's getting pretty serious. I'm trying to get my head in the right space for casting. Yeah, a couple of Banshees coming around. The Queens are going to be there. The 1-1 upgrades and Siege Tank on the way up as well. So all of that continues through just for now. We do have our Combat Shield going to come along with everything else. The 1-1 upgrades with that. And yeah, just going to be seeing a few Queens. Also going to come for a little bit of a move about as we settle into this game. Melee upgrades, Baneling Speed all coming up right now. So a lot of that already on the way out. Scan, just going to get some Hellions coming about as well, so just see what we can do in that regard. And again, 1-1 upgrades, Combat Shield, all of that is going to be continuing to build up for the moment. SCV's mining away, again the upgrades continuing through. looks like the Helling's going to poke forward, and a little bit of the Ling Bane going to immediately be in some trouble there. And Skua sets up just on the edge of this creep spread. Has got a fourth base on the way. Not going to try and make this just one big push. Serral already looking for the counterattacks, as he so often is doing, looking to make this TVZ matchup as favorable as possible for him in any which way. Always looking in that kind of direction, and yeah, that's exactly what he's doing there, as a couple tank shots will go off toward the top side, just clearing up a little bit more of that creep spread. So yeah, we clean up a little bit more of that. Drilling claws on the way through, plus one vehicle plane is on the way out as well. So we just continue through with all of this. Meanwhile, the 2-2 upgrades and everything else coming online also, including that drilling claws, which should also be a pretty major help right now. Marine's actually going to step forward, try and hit the Queens a little bit. The Ling Bane will come through once again. Marine's going to come back the other direction. Tanks and Hellbats, getting a few shots off. So again, able to create a little bit of fun here for us. And we do have, again, the Ling Bane threatening at the front, looking to see what we can maybe do. And the rest of that Ling Bane just still sitting there. The Queen's going to try and come forward again. Marine's going to fire onto the Queens, doing a lot of damage. I mean, good position. It's definitely creating some issues for Serral, who's struggling a little bit. Banshee is flying a Spore Crawl. I'm not sure that's actually going to end up, because the Spore was doing okay, but was getting low. As you now see the Ling Bane again diving forward, but not committing. And this is the thing. Serral is moving into these fights repeatedly, but the more you do that, the more committed you get, and the more you end up losing out on, and it can become a little bit costly for you, so you got to keep our eyes on all that. For the moment, the Marine's going to step forward once more here. Bane's coming back the other direction. Once again, the Marine's going to have to load up. Actually, great dive from Serral. Now he gets to the connections. Still has a couple of tanks here, but they're blinding clouded, so they really don't do much. The Ling Bane chasing all the way to the left side as well, getting rid of all those units. The Hellbats will also go down, and that is looking as though this is going to be pretty much it. So that's going to be about that. So we've seen that Marine stepping forward again. The Queen's still going to be there. Again, the Ling Bane pulls back over to the left-hand side. Again, 2-2 upgrades, Liberators, Marauders, Widow Mines. Producing through the bio, and the Widow Mines coming across also. So again, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all on the way up for the moment. Is Serral back from the military already? Yeah, he's been back since like September or so, I believe. The Finnish military is only 6 months or so, I believe. So yeah, he went all the way back in March. Obviously attended Dallas while in the military, eSports World Cup. So yeah, he's back. The man has returned. As you see these Banes coming to run through already, trying to get settled. Ling Bane going to hit the depots at the front as well. Going to try and move through over there. And as you do, actually knock those depots down. So this is Serral. As soon as he gets the cleanup on one side of the map, he's straight across the other side, dealing damage, and that is exactly what he's getting done at the moment. The Ling's going to run forward here as well. 29 SCVs going down, and this is the issue. You've got to be always ready to deal with Serral's counters. And Kua, it's obviously a rough start to the group, right? You play probably the strongest player in the group. It's not an easy group beyond this, so it would have been nice to kind of come in versus Serral and be like, okay, well, you know what? I already got a win or two under my belt. And again, I guess it's nice not to play against Serral and not being like, yep, this is a must-win for me because I messed up in other parts of the group. There's never a great time to play against Serral, I suppose, as the real TLDR. Serral's just everywhere, man. He uses a few drones on the other side, but he is really handling this whole scenario extremely effectively so far. Just having now our Ling's still getting in there. The Marauder's going to be taking a little bit more damage. SCV is going to get blasted a little further also. Bane's still threatening to come back down this ramp, but not going to quite make it there. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just Kua trying to push back across and utilize his army supply, which is the one thing he's got. But Serral's doing a very good job of forcing Kua to be very committed on this army. And so now all Serral really has to do is withstand another attack or two. He will lose that forward base. He has other locations to work from right now, though, so that's not the only base that he needs. As the Hydras come down this ramp, Medivacs are going to get jumped on. Multiple Medivacs going down. Damage really is being done right there. As once again, Serral is pushing this back. Kyo just does not have enough going on right now. As the Ling Bane gets turned around once again. Hydra Bane coming over. Marine's going to get chased through. Just going to blow up onto a couple of those Marines as well. And just continue to step up there as we see those Liberators going to get jumped on also, so they will also be going down. And that's going to be GG. Serral has a little bit too much as we get through a bit of a hectic start here in the world of the Masters Coliseum. I said World Team League because this is the setup we usually have for that. It's been a while since we casted anything off the clean feed, huh? Really, like, what, like 4 months or so since we've used the clean feed? Amazing. Alright, guys, there you go. Serral takes the first. I'm just going to run ads again just to try and clear the way in case we get a long game. Usually I try and run a couple more ads before we start, but all I could really do was get my stream live. Didn't have the time to sit around and check on the ad timer and stuff, so apologies. We're just going to go straight into ads on Twitch. But we'll get going and get ready for our next game in just a couple. I actually really do like the rest of this group. Kyo, Shin, Astrea. I actually think those guys all against each other. Obviously, Shin's been an absolute beast online in the off-season. Against each other, I really like all of those matches, actually. I think those are all really cool. So, I actually think this makes for a really cool group, honestly, across the board. I think this one's going to be absolutely awesome. As we ready ourselves for our next game. Start, and off we go. Serral versus Kyo, game number 2. Our map is going to be Amygdala. Obviously, all our new maps here now is wonderful to see as well. Love to see that. Lovely stuff. As we have Kyo here as the opposition to Serral for the first match of the Masters Coliseum. This event going to be taking place every weekend for the next 7 weeks. So if you like weekend StarCraft, you can get a little dose of it every Saturday and every Sunday for the next 4 weeks. 3 best of 3s a day. I know there's not really a lot. I don't love it. I've already had my time criticizing it, though. I'm not going to harp on about it any further. And then, obviously, when the playoffs come around, we'll probably have a couple best of 5s a day instead. Later today, by the way, guys, we also have the WardiTV 2v2 December tournament. So if you guys are into some team games, we're going to be live broadcasting that. That's an Open Cup $600 prize pool. Already a few fun teams signed up, such as Bjorn and Shin. Bjorn not convincing Mario to play super late at night. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's going to be coming up later today. That should also be a whole ton of fun. Yeah, looking forward to it. As the hatchery comes down onto the natural expansions, we're going to get that set up. CC coming into place. The hatchery and the drone coming out as well. So we get all of that brought through just for the moment. And we just take a couple moments of setting down here on Amygdala without anything too wild or too crazy happening in the first little bit. Is Clemens big around the world? Okay. I just read a comment and I thought this was going to say something. It clearly didn't. Is why I don't know what I thought. I saw there was going to be something like, is Clem in this tournament? And it wasn't at all. So, and then now I've got no idea what this is in reference to. I've just read it out. What's time for the 2v2 tournament? It starts in 3 hours and 40 minutes. Because I set it up to start basically when Masters Coliseum ended, when I thought Masters Coliseum had a couple more series. What will probably happen, guys, is we'll likely have a little bit of downtime between Masters Coliseum and 2v2. We might even go offline with the stream and come back online later. We might. Haven't really decided yet, basically, with the TLDR there. So, yeah, we'll figure that one out, though. There's our Reaper moving about. Queen is there to shove the Reaper the other direction a little bit. Havana Queen's going to hit that Reaper a few times over, and we go back and forth for, like I said, just a little while as we get set up. Links be coming through. Actually still producing on in. The Orbital Command Center coming up as well. We had all of that coming by for the moment. We're actually going to get turned around the other direction too. So just going to see that turning down to the bottom. And yeah, a couple of SCVs still mining away over on that natural mineral line. So they're just going to get working as well. They're going to get set up to try and do as much as possible. Thing's going to be there. Reaper will take a few more shots. So we got a few more hits coming about. From the two Hellions coming through once more. Again, just a little bit more damage being done for the moment. And we do have our Queens going to sit there and continue to push this back and away. So again, just defense looking good. Serral's Queens in position as they should be. Doing everything he needs to for the first few moments here. Is this live or replay cast? This is live. If we have the bracket link at the top of the YouTube chat, it's always live. I would never link a bracket that has spoilers in it. So you can always check the bracket if it's there. How much is the prize money for this tournament? It's like 15k, I believe. $15,000 is our prize pool. Big event. Very reasonably sized. Coliseum has been, obviously, I mean, this is the 8th edition. But over the past year or two, it's been a very consistent edition. Before, it was kind of used as a tournament here and a tournament there. It was not quite the scale that it is now. Poor quality, yep, I can't do anything about the quality. I know a lot of people are going to complain about it. I can't do anything about it. So, this event, we're not allowed to cast from inside of the game. We must cast off the clean feed. The problem with that is that when we cast off the clean feed, we're subject to the quality provided to us by the tournament provider. So, I can't increase this quality at all. You can see my YouTube settings. I can click 1080p, but like it was already autoing to 1080, so yeah. It is as high quality as we can possibly get. We can't do anything else to improve the quality of the stream here. So sorry about that. Like I said, there's, I wish we could watch in higher quality, because I appreciate the clean feed does not always look the prettiest, and especially, you know, I'm watching the stream, which then goes out to you guys being streamed out again, so it has like a secondary like hit on the quality too. I know it's not great, guys, but there's really not much I can't do anything about it. I wish I could. He'll just have to complain. Please pass the message on when the next person mentions it, though, because otherwise I'm going to get caught up explaining this all day. So that medevac just going to load. Obviously, those rocks do die themselves at some point, but we're actually just going to finish them off, because to be fair, if we don't finish these off right now, creep's about to connect to them, then they would stop dying. So Q just going to say, yeah, let's just open these up and guarantee that they go down. Actually going to get through to get towards a little bit of creep spread right there as well. So just going to be able to go straight in for that. Marines and the medevac still hanging around on the left. The Ling's going to come through, going to open up some rocks as well. So just going to go straight onto those for a couple of moments. Jump straight into that one. Marines is going to sit behind that gold mineral line as well. Definitely a position they can try and utilize and abuse a little bit. So imagining that is going to try and be a little bit of a factor. Mineral rock still falling as again one upgrades. The combat shield coming about as well. We see ourselves, the Marines is going to step down onto the creep, and again we get a couple extra kills just on that for the moment. Just trying to delay this creep as much as possible obviously makes a lot of sense. Slow down your opponent, who is such a fast and confident player. Having creep spread, you know, is going to just make it even easier for him. I mean, all Zergs are going to love creep, but Serral especially. You need every edge you can get. Any creep team you can get rid of may just be the one to push a little bit more of an advantage in your favor. Like I say, you got to look for all the little things here when you're playing against someone like Serral. He's just that freaking good. 1-1 melee upgrades coming about from Serral. He's actually pretty late on the upgrades in comparison to his opponent, but I mean, that's also part of the fact that he went into the lair so quickly, so you had other tech coming up really soon in comparison, so there's definitely kind of just factors to consider on that one as well. Marines going to come around the bottom side, and they're going to see if they can maybe get up to much over the next couple of moments. Again, 2-2 and drilling claws all on the way out for the moment. So just bringing all of that through. And a couple more barracks on the sensor tower coming online as well. So we continue in with a full variety of different things. Just scan it up, and obviously just again a little bit more creep right for the picking. More of that we get rid of. I've already explained I'm happier for Kua. Because he's obviously setting up on this bottom right side. That gives you a good idea of what direction he wants to try and generally push into, which is this base on the right side, so just aiming for that if at all possible. Marines and medevacs gather up once again. Just going to see the Ling Bane, though, actually may be able to jump on these Marines this time around. Marine's going to take a bunch of serious damage straight away as the Ling Bane continues to chase across. Marines pulled back, medevacs on the way through. Marines on the top side going to go running back as well. A couple of Widow Mines going to get burrowed up also. Just going to get those burrowed in. As you see, Widow Mines trying to aim for that Ling Bane force. Another Widow Mine shot going off there too. Aiming itself nicely. Doing what it can. Ling Bane will just keep pushing. And we got a burrow coming up, +1 missiles, +2 carapace coming about as well. You just need to be careful, man. This is not good because obviously the medevac got too close as well, so the Hydras are going to be there to shut the medevac down if it tries to play the lifting game. So you really got yourself a little bit just stuck there as Kua, instead of units getting chased, and obviously again we talk about efficiency and needing to be as good as you possibly can when you're playing against Serral. And it's just moments like that, it's like, okay, those units were really just out on the map a bit too long. Now the bottom right position getting broken into as well as Serral just goes straight into this, absolutely no bother. Widow Mines are yet to really have much impact. We do see a couple kind of burrowing up a bit further back. Serral is very patient. And he'll just say, yeah, I'm in no rush. I can just fall away from here. I do not need to do much else just yet. And so he does not. Just falls back, does not chase. Waits for his opportunity. He actually splits a good chunk of units off to the bottom side now where he's going to have the chance to go for a little bit of counterattack in action. So, yeah, Serral now going to get a bit of a counterattack. Oh, a flank, and he's just going to come in from two sides. And this army now going to get crushed. Has to evacuate into the medevacs. That is at least a decent evacuation. You don't lose much in the retreat, but, I mean, you were retreating for a reason. It's because you lost the fight. So, Kua, again, taking some pretty serious damage here so far. Things definitely not adding up in his favor. As it just feels like Serral's already comfortable. It feels like Serral's already fairly confident. Here is moving to Liberators, which can be a great addition to try and just, you know, really set up a bit of a stronger siege and, you know, maybe a slower push forward. And maybe that's the goal, because you're getting to the point where this bottom right side of the map is being taken and the players in general are just going to be getting closer and closer to each other with their expansions. As that continues to develop, that's definitely one of those moments where you could maybe convince me that Kua could just slow push into some advantageous spot, and that could be perhaps the difficulty finally for Serral to actually play cleanup a little bit. That might just about be the best kind of option that we're getting, right? So we'll see, we'll see. I'm gonna set back up at home. I mean, Kua might just start playing very slowly here and say, okay, well, you know what, Serral? How about you start attacking into me? I'm going to turtle up. Let's see if you can trade effectively enough to break me down and to trade well enough while I continue to take bases, or at least attempt to take bases. Well, Serral is going to rise to that challenge immediately. These Banes already jumping in over here, but you got the Planetary Fortress support, and I'm surprised the SCVs didn't repair that. I actually think if the SCVs pulled to repair that sooner, that would have lived. I don't think that actually had to go down at all there, right? That CC was around for a very long time. It was taking hits for ages. I actually think that could have been repaired up. I think that was a survivable command center, which is a shame then to actually see that go down, because that obviously really does hamper your chances of any sort of continued defense there, because now you've got to get a Planetary Fortress back in position, whereas if it was already there, Serral can't just pounce on that with an immediate set of reinforcements or so. Kira is kind of forcing Serral to look elsewhere at the same time, though, because he's got the gold base up, and he's also expanding to the left, so it's not just that bottom side. And that does mean that Serral may not be able to focus on denying that planetary from coming back online repeatedly. And you could say just having to pay attention elsewhere is going to be a pretty reasonable factor as well. Some lings around the bottom going to get going as we speak. Couple of SCVs, couple of workers going down just in general right now. The lings are going to come running across. There's been a few moments where we've not really seen too much of a disaster coming about. A couple of Vipers and all the lings still coming through as well. Couple of snipes. And we just play the cleanup game queue, trying to shut down as much as possible for himself here and just give himself as much freedom as may be permitted on Amygdala. Trying to harass his opponent's gold as well. That is a difficult goal to hold on to, and it's kind of a question at this stage of the game of who can hold the middle better. That's kind of in part the Zerg, kind of in part the Terran. I think it's easier for the Zerg, the Terran to get smaller groups of units that to harass now and again, especially as long as the middle of the map is not completely coated in creep. Whereas on the Terran's, as a Zerg side, I think you've got the more mobile army, so you might be able to get behind that base with your full force a bit more easily. But then, of course, you don't really need to get there with your full force a lot of the time. A couple of lurkers will do the job. As you do see, just a little bit of bio coming around from that set of rocks that got cleared up. Trying to push into position there. The planetary fortress too far away to really add much life to this defense. So yeah, the planetary just has to sort of sit back and hold out a little bit as well. Is all sieging up across the front there. There's the Ling Bane Hydra Viper going to start making its move forward as well. So it's going to start diving through a little bit. The planetary goes down almost immediately. Bio and Ghosts coming the other way. More shots coming about. The lings are still going to get active too. It's just going to continue to go over there. Country is going to fall now too. They're going to get rid of the hatch. It's going to be seeing the Ling Bane continue to stretch forward. The Bio Ghost going to have to go and take some steps backward as the Banes and the Hydras continue to move around. Orbital Command just going to go lifting off away to the side it runs. We do see some further upgrades. I mean, Ghost coming up. We've got Liberates, like I say, plus 2 vehicle plating. You're just finding everything and everything at this point in the game just to really find any chance of holding on, but he loses a fight here quite drastically, and Serral might even find the opportunity to keep attacking forward right now. Could be a pretty big deal, actually, as he moves straight up. Moving in right away. I'm just going to be there, too. The mine's being pretty well handled. I just managed to kill that one before it fired somehow. A couple of Banes snatched some ghosts. Their HP a little bit lower. Not going to kill them, but you know, it's good to threaten the ghosts sometimes. Show those big, important units that they aren't safe. At the same time, to be fair, at this point, Kira is just kind of bleeding out a little bit. He kind of starts, playing the more defensive games, saying to Serral, you know what, let's see if you can trade well enough into me repeatedly. And Serral said, of course I can. And it's not a bad question to ask as the Terran. Usually that is the kind of the way you can turn games on their heads in this matchup, but yeah, Serral just found, honestly, very good fights. He was very patient about his fights as well. He took that big one on the planetary bottom side, which was fine in the first place because he got a good start, and he killed the planetary. And since then, there wasn't like a lot of major commitments to fights. A little bit here, and a little bit there. He's going to continue through the Banes and the Hydras, coming back the other direction. Liberator sieging up. Orbital Command gets lifted. A lot of SCVs getting killed as well. And there's a lot more Lings. Marine Marauder coming out. So let's see how Bane's going to come crashing down. Liberator will siege up. Scan coming about. It's going to be seen again. The Marine Marauder all coming in as well. So far, so good for Serral, though, because he's just continued to kill SCVs, continue to chip through. Why doesn't Q leave? Because there's always that chance, that very small chance that Serral takes the wrong fight, and one of these defensive positions can do more than it's meant to, even when it's already meant to trade extremely well. You know, that's how Terrans win sometimes, and as a Terran, you just gotta hope that the Zerg is maybe thrown away more than you think they are. I mean, there's no point leaving too soon, because it's a very difficult thing to judge. Oh yeah, he threw away this many thousand resources while you're in the game. Like, he probably knows he's losing, he probably knows this isn't going well enough for him, but, you know, there's a chance that, you know, maybe you misjudged this, you know, position ever so slightly a little bit. It's never worth leaving too soon. Because the TLDR is, yeah, it feels like a slow death, but, like, it's just one of those styles that a lot of the time it feels like a slow death. Until, like I say, actually, no, you got another base up, you're mining, oh, the Zergs are in, you know. The game kind of flips a lot, even as a viewer sometimes. So obviously in game a bit harder to judge that. As our first match of today goes the way of Serral. Kira will return in a little bit. As you can see, he's going to be back for series number 3 against Astrea. So Kira Astrea will be coming up a bit further down the line. Up next, though, we've got an awesome ZVP. I love this one. Shin versus Astrea, I think, is a lot of fun. That is our Serral action for the day, guys. So Serral game wraps up. And we'll be off into, like I say, the Shin Astrea match very shortly. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for a little bit of a delayed starting today. Just jumping on and everything. Like I say, real life has been a bit hectic and crazy lately. So yeah, if you weren't here last time I streamed, Ellie had a bit of a sore leg and stuff. But she'd been to the vets and they gave her some stuff, but she just wasn't getting any better. So she went back to the vets yesterday. They kept her in for a few hours to watch her and to try and give her some, like put her on an IV and stuff, but apparently she wasn't having any of that. Anyway, she came back home. She's just on full house arrest. Not anything allowed to happen with her. So she's just got to sit back and... I got to mute the music, by the way. Sorry. I have to mute the music because in case... last time I streamed the clean feed of WTL, I got a copyright strike on YouTube, so yeah, they used music that is not allowed to actually be played. So this will be musicless. But yes, TLDR Ellie, basically we think she's just pulled a muscle and it's just taken a day or two to heal. Well, a few days to heal. This morning she's absolutely full of life again. Now she's trying to go upstairs and jump on things and she's not quite able to. But she's also not meant to be trying, so yeah. So yes, like I say, guys, I'm just gonna mute the music between matches because yeah, they really do use music, which is not loved by Twitch or the fact that Twitch sometimes like mutes the VODs for it as well says enough. So I have no want to find out any further what happens with YouTube if we accidentally let that play for a bit too long. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit mindful of that one. As obviously look back on the highlights, it's so funny. It's like picking highlights in a Serral game is always really weird to me because it's like Serral games are usually like he just wins a war of attrition over quite a long time. And that's exactly what these two games were. It's actually exactly what these last two games were. It was a war of attrition over an extended period of time. Yeah. I'm very excited for Shin Astrea. Shin has been one of the hottest players of the off-season. He's been so freaking good. He's playing against Astrea, who's very good as well. Haven't seen as much of Astrea, obviously. But when Astrea's in shape, he looks good. And obviously here he is today. Actually, genuinely excited to get to watch some Astrea games. Astrea Q, like I say, the other 3 players in this group, if you'd asked me 3 months ago, I would have said, man, this is really up in the air. Any of them could beat anyone. Nowadays, I do favor Shin, because Shin has just looked that good. So I do kind of prefer Shin a little bit to the other guys right now. I would pick him as the favorite of the other three. But that is not saying that it's a guarantee. I absolutely think Kua and Astrea are both going to put up a good fight. So do you think this upcoming Astrea versus Shin matchup is going to be looking like a lot of fun? What's meant by a clean feed, not having the host casters? Yeah, basically a feed that's it's clean. It's basically it's clean to use for anybody. Like you could send this feed to anybody, and everyone can use it because yeah, basically there's no casting on it. I think basically like there's no casting, or it's like very minimal like sponsors and stuff, or like for example like if you like it only has the bare minimum requirements for what needs to be there. So in this case, it's just it doesn't have any casting on, right? But in other cases, it might be like it might be like here's purely like the clean feed of like whatever's like in sports, for example. Here's the clean feed of the game. You guys can put whatever sponsors and logos you want to put on this game. We just provide the video and some audio. In this case, obviously all the sponsors and stuff are attached. I'm basically just attaching my voice to it. So yeah, exactly what we need. A lot of fun. I do think this is going to be a very fun upcoming best of 3. I think it's going to be awesome, to be honest. I think it's going to be very, very cool. Kasama is on the bottom of the screen, guys. Like I said, I just don't have any music to play right now. Don't want to mess up the VODs if not needed. I was gonna say we might actually have some Chinese ads for a little bit as well. Are these the winners of the Masters Coliseum? I believe so, actually. Yeah, we had a lot recently. Serral won the last 2. Yeah, there's one of these in January as well. I can't believe it's actually been like 12 months since we had a Masters Coliseum. It seems like so long. They have some fun graphics. And I'm not gonna unmute until we get back in game, guys. I'm just gonna go without the sounds. Rather be safe than sorry, you know. I have no idea what music they're attaching to this right now, so. It's amazing to see an event the scale of Masters Coliseum still going on online. Seen some support for it and gonna keep on going, hopefully. That's awesome. Here we go. Got the match history between Astrea and Shin recently. And you know what? Like, Astrea, like, honestly, Shin is a different beast right now. This match history means nothing to me. The fact Shin won 2-0 most recently, I think, speaks a lot. Astrea kind of had his number. If you look at this, it's like 3-2 in Astrea in the recent meetings, but that goes over a year back. Shin right now is a better Shin than we've ever seen. He's an absolute monster. We'll see. The only question, I guess, is how does he fare in a more preparation-based tournament? Because this is obviously a tournament where the players are going to be playing against, know who they're playing against ahead of time, and they really are going to, with a bit more on the line, they're probably going to put a little bit more prep time into each of their matchups at least. So I do wonder a little bit of how is Shin going to be responding to that versus just the online grind, which is a lot tougher to kind of, you don't really prepare for people on the online cups and stuff, and in the smaller events, a lot of what I usually produce and cover. So I do wonder a little bit if there'll be some question marks there, perhaps. As we'll sit on this match history between the two for just a couple of moments, hopefully get that resolved shortly. Get this back on track. Again, thanks for joining us, guys. Good to see you all. We really appreciate you all being here. Join us for some games. Ellen just reopened my my door and it's freaking freezing. Go and reshut the door, I think. So cold. Oh, it's just that part of the year right now where it's just cold. Well, it's been kind of cold in the house too. I guess we are really set in this match history. Maybe just waiting for the players to be ready. Maybe they're not quite set to go just yet, I imagine. It's probably the delay. You can hear me talking to the doggo? I'm not talking to the doggo. What are you on about? Are you hearing things? What did I say? I'm really intrigued how you can hear me talking to the doggo. The doggo is downstairs. She's not allowed upstairs right now. Any news or info about the ESL season? No. Don't worry, guys. I'm getting the Indiegogo page ready for the the WardiTV Starcraft 2 circuit, okay? Look, all I'm saying is if any of you guys out there somehow like own an oil company or just have like, you know, $1 million go and spare, look, I promise I can run a really good StarCraft 2 circuit if anyone just has like, you know, if you're just sitting on a bit of money, maybe you have a mansion you don't need, you could sell off quickly. I don't know, but if someone's out there and you've just, you know, you've just not really, you know, occurred, you know, we could run a great tournament. Get in touch. I mean, I think we're really waiting on EWC and whether EWC announced StarCraft 2 or not. I'm pretty sure no one can tell us anything until EWC decides to announce whether StarCraft 2 is in their game lineup for the year. You got 20 cents, will that do? I mean, it's a start. It's a start. I mean, 10 people with 20 cents is a couple of dollars. 100 people with 20 cents is $20. You know, it's something. But 72 Canadian. Yeah, okay. I mean, look, I'm sure we can figure something out. Made it big in crypto and love SC2. Yeah, I know. Also possible. It's okay, guys. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to. I mean, I'm not really planning to. Hey, the players are here. I'm not really planning to crowdfund for anything right now, but there is a possibility that maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of good reason to go and do a little bit of crowdfunding, you know? Maybe in the new year. Maybe if I can think of a cool tournament format or something, maybe we can crowdfund for something, but I'm very confident there's actually going to be an ESL circuit as well, so I think we'll be fine. 2 bets and we'll all be millionaires, yeah. Perfect. Why didn't we think of this before? and Wardy points. Spirit Max Angel, it's 4:50 AM. He looks sleepy. Yeah, living on the west coast of NA is not the best place to be for playing StarCraft 2 tournaments, that's for sure. Alright, we're going in game, guys. I'll bring the game sounds back as soon as we get in game. Like I say, just want to make sure they're not playing any music or anything. And let's get into this. Man, the game is not as loud today as well. The stream is loud. I've got it on half volume on my own setup. I've got it on half volume on the YouTube feed as well. Crazy. Alright. Shin is in the bottom left. Astrea is in the upper right. Really hoping, we saw off on Ultra Love as well for map number 1. Really expecting a fun series here. I do think they have pretty contrasting styles, where Shin more typically is that more aggressive player, while Astrea can be a little bit funky with his builds. But I do oftentimes think of Astrea as that if he gets a chance to macro up, he can be so very good kind of guy as well. So I think that's going to be very interesting just across the board. See how that all turns out, given a bit of time here. See if it turns out the way I think. I mean, Astrea can definitely be aggressive too. He has always had very unique builds, and sometimes that does involve being the aggressor. I just know that Shin loves being the aggressor. But I think the great part is that both players might have their strength, but they can both perform outside of their strengths as well, right? Shin can play a macro game. You know, Astrea can kind of play a bit more to kind of to the beat, you know, to the rhythm of the game as well if necessary, you know? I don't think this is a, oh my goodness, is one guy just going to outpace the other guy or force them into the game he's not comfortable in? I think they're both very good at adapting to what they need to be playing for their opponent. I think that goes a long way in scenarios like this one. So we're just going to finish up. Just going to be using our queens and our lings coming through. The Overlord on the way as well. Lings is going to chase. Probe going to get pushed around. So yeah, Queen going to be there. And Deb going to get turned around the other direction. It's going to get pushed that way for a little bit. This few moments is going to be fairly cozy, fairly comfortable. Not too much going on right away here. Going to be hanging about a little bit as a couple of Debs going to threaten to move forward a little as well, try and see what they can do. The Queen's is going to be hanging around in that natural. And the Oracle heading towards the upper right-hand side, just going to go journeying across a little bit as well. See how our Ling's going to get to the other side and going to start jumping on a couple of units. Again, Queen's coming through, Twilight Council building. Oracle activates again, going to go after a drone. Drone will take some shots. Queens are going to get there. Push back a little bit, so the Oracles do get pushed to the other side. Queen's just going to shoot in a couple of Oracles. Taking some hits, 3 drones going down. Stalker's going to be there, and the Overlord going to get picked away at as well. So again, just little bits of damage being done for the moment. He's going to come wrapping around. Pylon going to be taking some damage too. For a couple moments then as our Oracles come back the other way. Lings keep on moving. Let's see how Stalker's going to fight. The Overlord going to take some more damage. Again, a few more hits coming about here currently. He's going to get some creep tumors as well. And with +1 blink on the way up, Astrea's at this point where he wants to start poking forward and trying to find some little bits of damage wherever possible. You can see the Stalker's actually going to get a first stasis ward off and a few Zerglings as well. He's going to come through. The Queen's going to get chased for a couple of moments. Say blink not ready yet, so you can't go too overboard with those Stalkers, but we're getting to the point where they can definitely have a little bit of an exciting time. Obviously, the Oracle support very good to keep them very safe against the Lings as well, so that should definitely help out. As when we step forward, the Lings are going to come chasing through once more. Another stasis ward coming up. Stalker still gathering on in together. Well, shots going off toward the hatchery. Oh, nice stasis going to catch a few Lings. Stalker's going to blink back to the other side. Still shooting a couple of Roaches taking shots. Don't forget those Queens are there as well, also getting involved. Again, the Roaches and the Queens going to be there to push the Stalkers back the other direction. Roach speed coming up. +1 missiles, Groove Splains coming out as well. Just getting up to as much of that as we possibly can at the moment. So we'll see how a few Lings going to come chasing back over. Stalker's going to get pushed back once more. This Hydra's Roach is also going to be there. Stalker's still going the other direction. Unable to really stay tight in this just yet, as our Stalker will continue to gather. Hydras and Roaches going to come through themselves now. Stalker's going to push at the front. There's a good few Hydras that continue to get together there, so again, some damage being dealt. And do you have our Stalker's going to go the other direction? It's going to pull back. Going to get recall up to the top side as we see the Lings get pushed away by the Stalkers once more. Stalkers do get there to continue chasing out. And job well done in that regard. Defense good from Astrea. Shin trying to find something on the other side, not getting there. Ling Hydra Roach off of 60 drones. He kind of has to go, but I mean, how is he going to go? I mean, he's just being in trouble. Astrea just super controlling in this first game. Shin never really able to do much like kind of Shin usually does, right? Shin not able to kind of do his thing. And this game starts to get into a little bit of a troubling spot here for our Zerg, who I kind of feel like is... I mean, he's just got to go soon. The longer you wait, the more tech online from Astrea, the more storms available. I mean, I don't know. I felt like I was going to say like pre-storm, but I think that timing's already passed. I don't think we're going to get across the map in time to hit pre-storm. So then I'm just like, well, what can we get across the map in time to do? Again, not really much of anything at the moment, to be honest. And we've seen these few units to the front get turned around again. I mean, Astrea's going Stargate, Fleet Beacon. I guess if Shin shoves, all that investment may be wasted because, you know, those units and resources are not going to see the light of day. So maybe, just maybe, that's how Shin has a chance, because Astrea just overbuilds a little bit and is not ready for the fact that this is just a 60 drone army from our Zerg, who's beginning to come the other side. A good couple of storms there, hitting a lot of the Hydras, but the unit's going to come around the other direction. Wrapping around, a couple of the tech units going down. The Stalkers trying to find their way out, and Shin gets a good start to the fight. Well, you need something here, Shin. That's definitely going to be a good start for you. That's definitely going to begin to do it. Like I say, Shin's the one that needs some good fights right now. Storms have been good for Astrea so far, but a long way off that being decided as we jump onto this base, and Astrea's already pulling the probes. One of his robo facilities here too is going to be exposed and killed off, so that's going to be a nice grab for Shin on top of everything else. Zealot's on the other side, so we're actually going to base trade. How much does Shin love the base trade? Probably not too much, because Protoss kind of like being able to base trade, because obviously they can warp in for a while. He's going to be able to set up a lot of defensive stasis walls to slow down the base trade on the other side, whereas Shin, I feel like Shin is not going to really be able... And Shin's going to lose like a lot of his units kind of as they spawn and so on, whereas Astrea would be able to warp in elsewhere. So I think it makes a lot of sense that Shin ends up actually pulling back home and saying, no, 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 you're right, this is not really working out for me. I think he's very correct there. As our Stalkers blink down, a few more Lings going to get chased for a little bit. Roach, Hydra, Ravager going to be there. Shots coming about. Just going to be seeing Roaches and Lings on the way through. And just Roaches gathering up. The Roach Ravager coming through as well. A couple Nexus, a couple Robo Facilities, all on their way. Need to bring that all online is just have Zal's going to get rid of a Queen. Astrea did well by base trading because he forced Shin to turn around and come home. By coming home, Shin kind of lost any momentum he had army supply-wise. That's nowhere near as scary now. Shin's economy is in the absolute gutter as well. This is looking as though Astrea has taken full control of this game. Number one. It kind of felt like Astrea was in full control of this game number one anyways, but is able to play it out in a very convincing way. And Shin, our off-season prodigy, is going to be in trouble here in the starting series. Astrea, could be a great day for him. He beats Shin and Kyo if he goes 2 on his matches today. He's in an amazing spot. Then one of them would probably have to upset Serral for him to not be guaranteed through the group. Once those guys play Serral tomorrow, so it'll be a little bit of a waiting game there. Astrea would also have his own shot at Serral tomorrow too. So yeah, it's like I say, the rest of this group is just very intense, you know? There's a lot of potential ways it can end out. I do think a lot of them can beat each other. I think they can all beat each other. I just don't, like I say, coming in definitely did favor Shin, but maybe I should have held back on that comment because Astrea comes in looking very, very good in this opening match. Very, very good. So Astrea looks very good to start. Game 2. In a moment will be Amygdala. Obviously Abyssal Reef if we get there for game 3. Kind of an interesting map, map 3. I'm gonna give this a couple of moments and we wait for Amygdala to get going. Next game of this series. Thank you for joining us today, guys. This is the Masters Coliseum. So good to see you all. We have WardiTV 2v2 $600 tournament in 3 hours time as well. So if you're looking forward to that, that should also be fun. Oh no, I meant to mute the music. Shit. I kind of forgot. The music between games is also not great. Yeah. It probably doesn't matter too much. Like I said, I'm just trying to be cautious is all. I think they just use like a couple of repetitive things, but they're all like under a license, so yeah, maybe we'll get away with it. Maybe it's the end of the YouTube channel. No. Give it a moment or two then. Amygdala coming up. To get this settled into play, get this ready to roll. Into some more Starcraft. Very quiet without music between games. Take a moment to have a drink, and all of a sudden it's just like dead silent. Shin taking on Astrea. Well, drones, probes coming up, and get settled down. Actually goes down on the natural as well. Just gonna get that set straight up here. Just gonna get that straight underway as we get our next game up and rolling. Amygdala seems to be a popular second map. Second map in the last series as well. Amygdala is kind of interesting. I think it's going to make it into a lot of series actually throughout this event and just in general in this map pool. I think Amygdala is going to see a good bit of love, to be honest. So, yeah, I think it's definitely one we'll continue to keep our eyes open for. It's going to be really interesting to see how this map develops too, because it's not quite your most normal of maps with the way that the pathing works and the rocks in the middle of the map opens up over time. Yeah, it's very unique. And like I say, definitely not figured out. A lot of the times when you get new maps, people will play them and they'll be like, ah, this one plays like insert map from 2015. You know, or something along those lines. Maybe not necessarily 2015, but, oh, this plays like this or this plays like that. Like, a lot of maps have similarities, and obviously they can be a bit different. Sometimes it's like a combination of like, oh, the middle of this map feels like this. So you can kind of apply what it feels like, but Amygdala is genuinely, from all the players I've talked to, seen as a pretty unique map. People do feel as though this is something we've not really played on much before, so it's that kind of thing which is not as figured out as it enters the map pool as other maps may be. So yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch a map like that kind of develop. Do people figure out certain ways where it's just very good? Is there certain ways in which it's just super abusable? I know a lot of people are actually not, overly against the gold base on this map, which is a miracle in itself. The gold base on this map is genuinely seen as something that is absolutely difficult to take. And if you can get away with it, then brilliant, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously a great bonus as well, because a lot of the time there's a lot of debate that gold bases are too easy to take. Anyone can take one whenever they want to. People feel against that on this map. We've seen a lot of games end where someone, and especially when this map was first on the PTR, a lot of people just tried to take the gold and they just died because they took it. So yeah, this map is just, like I say, generally, after talking to a lot of people at Home Story and so on, seems to be pretty positively thought about across the board. It's nice to see. I think all the maps have been getting a little bit of love, to be honest. Popular choices. Thanks for coming through the Queen's building. Depths come over there. Still gonna get a few pings off. Warp gate still coming up and online as we get that going here. Oracle gonna provide the high ground vision necessary for that Stalker to get a few shots off. Ling's gonna hit the Nexus. Oracle comes down the other side. It's just going to be moving across straight away. Lings keep on coming through as well. Got the Oracle going to activate. Going to go after a couple of creep tumors for a couple of moments as well. Just clearing up a little bit of that. Queen's are going to be there. I'm just going to chase the Oracle back the other direction. And the Adepts make their way across. Last game, Shin never really got going in my eyes. It took him a long time to really get started in the first place. So I do look at this one and kind of wonder, hey, is Shin going to get off to like a better start? Is he going to be able to kind of dictate the game a bit himself? It's charge and +1 though from Astrea, so he's not going to go into those, you know, Blink Stalkers. He's going to go into the charge and +1. He's going to utilize that as his kind of opener. And that's going to obviously throw this game into a very different state to what we saw last time anyway. Obviously, you get the Archons up, and you can hit some pretty nasty charge Archon timings off of this, so Shin's going to have to be ready numbers-wise for that. Going to have to make sure you've got what you need to survive there, otherwise this gets very messy very quickly, right? Couple Lings going to move forward in that Adept. Going to be in a little bit of trouble. Well, Breitling speed still building through. I'm just going to be having an Lair coming in, the 9 drones coming through as well. +1 melee. All on the way up. And charge and +1 building as we speak. The extra gateways coming online as well, so again, just continue to bring that through for the moment as the couple of oracles going to get up and across in the other direction, so they're going to go over that way. Ling's going to come and catch a probe, so it's going to be able to come in and get a little bit of a grab on that. Ling's going to get chased around for a little while. Not a bad little setup. So Dark, I'm going to get to that hatchery. And fourth base, Shin just dies instantly. Man, Shin's not playing well today. I feel like Shin's just permanently in trouble. Nothing's even happened. Kind of surprised as we pop a Guardian Shield up. Force Field, I actually think probably hurt the Zealots more than it helped. Astrea's already done enough. No, you got rid of that base. Getting rid of that base is already huge, I think. We see Archon coming about. And Archon's going to gather up. Just going to be seeing the Ling Hydra coming back the other side. Couple units coming through. I mean, Shin kind of lives, but again, definitely feels as though he's taking some damage. He has got the gold base up though, and Astrea does not really have any control in the center of the map, and with Zealots, you don't really have that kind of shooting overpower. Like, if he blinked Stalkers here, he would have been able to deny the gold a lot more easily. Whereas now, that doesn't not really happen as much, so something of a factor there. Ling's Hive is continuing to chase. The Zealots will be chased down for a little while. He's going to come across, just going to be seeing the Archons. The Zealot's going to be there too, continue to turn that away. And push in towards our hatchery on the left-hand side, so straight in we go. Astrea going to be taking some shots. Close's coming through as well. I mean, this base just drops. I mean, so far, I'm yet to see Shin show us he can fight this army, but he's about to get to Lurkers. Obviously, Lurkers should at least make his full setup look a lot better. Like Astrea's just systematically working through the bases. I'm going to get behind the gold base now to deny the left-hand side a whole bunch. Like I say, I'm going to get to Lurkers, but you still need enough of those, and you need a way to support them as well. And without an economy, it's going to be very difficult. Is this live? Yes, this is live. Coliseum live every weekend for the next 7 weeks. Colours go down in the main base, 10 drones going down as well. Army continues to press forward there. A couple queens getting chased. Storm continues to drop. Those Lurkers going to get chased back. And the Storms just keep on coming. Look at them go. Hydra's taking a lot of damage as well. There's 13 drones going down. Like I say, show me a fight where Shin is winning. Is basically my question right now. I don't think we've had a single one where Shin's just getting bullied straight up. Like, he's not getting to play the game, it feels like, almost. He is having a bad time. I can't really make that much prettier of a statement. He is just absolutely having a bad time. Smalls get around the back. Look, is going to get turned away. You're going to see the Hydras coming in for us around, but that's where the Storms are going to excel. The Stasis Wards were great to get rid of a lot of the Lings. Those Immortals are just very bulky, while the Hydras will get rid of a couple of them. The Immortals are going to win out this fight for the most part. And Shin is just going to die. Astrea coming in super strong in this series. Shin just did not get to play his match at all. I am genuinely... Yeah, I'm genuinely a little bit shocked. That's just how one-sided this turned out to be, huh? Like, this wasn't... I thought this was going to be a good scrap if Astrea was going to win. Astrea just picked him apart, man. Shin is DEAD right here. Lurker's going to fire. High Temper's going to take some shots from afar. So some damage going out over there. Hydras, Lurkers gathering up. More shots and some changelings as well. Storm's coming through. I mean, again, this is going to be pretty good cleanup. The Lurk is going to take a few more hits also. That's going to come chasing, like Hydra getting pushed around. This coming back, we're just going to be seeing the shots coming back the other way. Lurkers are going to take some more shots too. Yeah, Shin trying his best, but doesn't have the numbers, doesn't have the tech. GG, Astrea takes a super convincing first matchup. Not really much else to say on that. Astrea just played a very good game, and Shin really did not. I don't even feel like Shin lost this super early. He just wasn't ready at any point. He didn't do anything of his own. Like, this didn't look like shit. If this happened 3 or 4 months ago, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that happens sometimes. Shin had me so excited after the whole off-season. Please, Shin, don't say you've peaked in the off-season and now you're just going to flop in any event that's not an online cup again. That would be very sad for him. Alright, guys, we're going to get into Cure Astrea after some highlights in the break. I'm just going to grab my lunch, which just came, so I'm just going to grab a few bites to eat. So I'll be a little bit quiet. Obviously, no game sounds right now, or no in-game sounds, just because I want to be cautious about the music that they're playing. So just do that, and I'll come back with you guys very soon for more Starcraft 2. Don't go. Well, you can BRB if you want, but don't go too far. BRB. Thank you, Lambo, for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Just to quickly explain, I just have the stream muted because when they play the music, it's not copyright safe. So we just got the game, the stream muted, the clean feed muted between games, and I'm just grabbing a bite to eat right now. So it's a little bit quiet, but I'll be back with you guys in 2 or 3 minutes. And obviously there'll be sounds back once we get our next match. Cure Astrea is coming up soon. We just saw Astrea absolutely bop Shin in this Masters Coliseum group, so that's where we're at and that's what's going on. Just to quickly explain, thank you for the raid, Lambo. Welcome, everyone. I say BRB. Hello, hello. Here, Astrea. Coming up next, guys. Because they've just had the stream uh, being a bit quiet because I was just eating. And also because we can't have the clean feed unmuted outside the game because they have a bunch of copyrighted music they keep playing. So we just have to mute up for that, unfortunately. So yeah, we just take a couple moments, guys. We get set up, wait for some Starcraft 2 to resume for us here. No timer on the screen or anything, so maybe they dropped the timer, but a few minutes between matchups last time. Hopefully shouldn't be too long here. We do have WardiTV 2v2 $600 cup in a couple of hours, guys. 2.5 hours from now. Could have brought that a little bit earlier. Maybe I'll bring the 3v3 cup a little bit earlier, actually, because yeah, the 3v3 cup was is designed in the same way, but Master Coliseum ain't gonna take very long. Then we may as well start a little bit earlier in the day and try and link the stream up a bit better. I will change that for a couple weeks' time. Let me have a look at the player list. See if we've got any fun signups. 13 signups so far, including, yeah, I think Shin is one of the most fun signups so far. Lemon Nanami, they won some in the 3v3 recently. Art and Tiger. Yeah, it should be fun. Obviously, you guys are welcome to play as well. The Open Cup goes on TL than that. If you really want the link, then I can let you guys. I can find it for you guys and link it in chat. But yeah, if you want to play, come play 2v2 in a couple of hours. We're probably going to do this series and probably just take the stream offline, guys. I don't think there's any point trying to keep the stream live. If it was like half an hour or so, I'd just put a timer on or like a VOD for you guys to watch or something. But if it's going to be a couple hours, I just don't see the point. So we'll just take a moment, guys. Hang about a little bit. How is everybody doing? Is it possible to play SCT Brutal music over this? I could, but it gets complicated. Maybe I can look into it for the next days. Sign up right now is probably not worth it, but yeah, for the next shows, maybe I can look into some background music. What I could probably just do is have my StarCraft 2 open in the background and just let the StarCraft 2 sound play from there. That's usually what I do. It probably makes sense because it's very quiet right now. Yeah, I'll probably set that for next time. Maybe I should use the the ESL music. Remember the ESL Masters online stuff that I produced, guys? And it had the same 3 songs playing on repeat for 3 weeks. God, I missed those. They were so good. Maybe we should bring those back. Well, like I said, just waiting for Astrea, maybe giving Astrea a little bit of a break or so, a couple of minutes. Obviously, we know Kira should be here as well. Because he was here earlier, and a little bit bopped by Serral. I actually think Kira looked better against Serral than Shin did against Astrea. Isn't that surprising way that things turned out on this day so far? One thing you remember about GSL was that music choice was cool. Yeah, well, the amazing thing about all those events was that you could just used to be able to play music whatever you wanted to because nothing got regulated. Then GSL did get some rights to some pretty good music after as well, but they used to play great music back in the day as well. Astrea just going to get a drink apparently. Once we go to the player cams here, he will return. Curious, sat ready to play. Important match. If Astrea wins this, basically, we need someone to probably upset Serral. For Astrea not to make it out the group. 2-0 Shin as well. I mean, round robin 4-player group map score is super important. So 2-0 in Shin especially is actually a really big deal. Really big deal. Astrea and Q set ready to play. We're ready to go. Can't believe you 2-0 Shin. If Astrea shows up against Q like he did before, I guess we'll see what happens. Waiting. Alright, we're back. Bring the sounds back. In the bottom left, Cure from Team Liquid is our blue Terran player. Taking on Astrea. That Protoss in the top right in the red. Teamless, I believe. So we got a little pop-up in the center. Hello. I don't know what that says. But we just got full-on sponsors in the middle of the screen now. The sponsors have evolved. Couple of shots, probes nibbling through and get some damage done. As you have the engineering bay block coming down, Secure just trying to throw some issues into place early on here. All the pros get back up into the main. And we got ourselves sorted out. So Astrea will get the expansion on location. Good to spot that engineering block early so you don't have to worry about it too much. Absolutely spot on. Lovely to see. Having our factory coming up as well. And continue to bring that straight into play. And get that all on the go. Just for the moment. They only do 3 best of 3 today and the next 3 best of 3 in a week. No, the next 3 best of 3 are tomorrow, but yes, it's only 3 best of 3s a day. It's perfect. Just as the viewership is starting to get kind of going, we run out of games to cast. Amazing. Wouldn't mind coming up. 12 accounts are coming through. He's just going to push forward. The Adept going to come across. He's just going to stand there. Stalker's trying to press up. Turn that back around, and the Stalkers do get turned away to the low ground. Away they go. Another Stalker going to warp in on this side. Blocks the Hellion from access. That's a good defense by Astrea. Nice and quick and clean. Very nicely done. And coming up, the Medevac going to go boosting back out onto the map as well. Secure definitely looking to keep harassing options available for himself at the moment. Trying to harass as much as he can. Here, there, and everywhere. As we settle down, a few Marines going to unload. Stalker's going to get chased. We're going to come around that right-hand side as well. Just going to come straight over there. I'm just going to come forward. A couple of Stalkers in the sentry coming up. I'm just going to be seeing the Medevac actually going down. That's going to be, honestly, a pretty good cleanup as well, right? Goes back down to the bottom. Away they go. Astrea just absolutely on fire. What if Astrea is just secretly a dark horse? He's been practicing real hard and he's just really freaking good. That'd be crazy. Stalkers still gathering together then for a couple of moments. Just gonna have those join in. Banshee coming around the top side, gonna set up a little bit as well, see what we can do over there. Once again, the Robo Bay Forge, Gateway, Nexus, all that good stuff continue to come by. For the moment, as our Banshee will try and fire onto the Nexus for a little bit, but gets turned away. So no love found there. Stalkers are going to come about, just going to be having the Marine's going to take some damage. Pushing up, a couple SCVs take shots. And she is going to go down. Plus moving out also, again, those Marines and the tanks join together. Tanks will set up, moving forward a little bit. I'm gonna go back over to the left-hand side now. Marines and tanks still getting set up. Yeah, the Guardian Shield already popped onto the rest of this army. That's interesting. Fun to see how that goes, because obviously Kira is going to get the tank set up. I mean, I guess Astrea just doesn't attack into this, and this should still look very good for him here. As the Bio tries to come down that ramp, but will not be able to succeed in that one just yet. And the tank still moving forward. Commencing are going to come to the front also. I'm just going to get straight over here. Stalkers, Colossus coming over. Just going to be having our Bio still gathering up. The Viking's going to be there too. And everything's settling for just a couple of moments. I'm just going to get down and actually going to start chasing this army about as well. We are going to be seeing a scan, the tank coming through also. I mean, Astrea just pushing straight into this natural expansion queue. We'll dive into the natural on the other side. So base trade is established. Who do we like the base trade for the most? I mean, nowadays, Protoss obviously able to recall. If you time the recall well as a Protoss, I think base trading as a Protoss is very good. They used to say never base trade a Terran, but Protoss have a lot of tools that make base trades pretty good for them nowadays. I'm going to recall onto the third base, so we're going to lose the natural. Ideally, you don't want to lose the main, though, right? You don't want to lose like the main and the production in the main base, so you kind of want to have this recall create a fight for you that makes this a survivable scenario. There's one Colossus and that Stalker left back on the other side. Here is the fight as Astrea just comes into it, engaging through. Obviously, tanks pre-siege, but we're going to be able to break on top of them. They got a lot of damage dealt, but there's a lot of Zealots there as well, and Q's supply. As the angle cleaned up, Astrea was on a more of a lead once upon a time, I think, but I think this was still absolutely fine for him as he cleans up. Just needs some units there to fight off the Vikings, protect his Prism and the Colossus. Vikings still moving down the bottom side. Stalkers, sentries. The Colossus did die apparently as well, but only one Colossus. That means you've done a great job preserving your tech units, which is absolutely a big thing. Keeping your tech units alive is going to make the rest of this game so much more achievable for you, so definitely heading in the right direction there. One drops into place, the Colossus firing. Bio going to start moving up the ramp here. Nexus coming in. It's going to get into position. We're going to be seeing our DT going to go after some of the SCVs. SCVs going down. Scanning up into the main base again and look to see just what we are up to. DT's just causing big issues, man. I mean, Astrea's only on 2 bases himself, main in the 3rd. Obviously a little bit split apart, that natural dead. Hero's only on 1 base right now as he has to come and reland his natural, still surviving from the Dark Templar. Having to drop scans means less mules. Less mules means less economy as well. Astrea is absolutely looking to take control of this game. This Astrea just going to come through and look absolutely incredible. Like, clearly so far looking like the obvious 2nd place of this group, but I mean, I don't know where this has come from. I guess I felt coming into this, I thought Hero was not quite as in shape. I said maybe he's gotten in shape for this event, but man, it's Astrea that's been becoming an absolute beast apparently. Here he is. He is going to be up 1, going to Leylines map 2. What a run so far from Astrea as he puts himself in a killer spot in this group if he can win this game. Like, he is very likely to advance if he wins this. Especially if he gets a 2-0, then it's almost guaranteed he advances because it's very rare someone else is going to be able to, especially after 2 the other guys. I actually think it's might even be impossible unless they upset Serral. But we already know Kyo didn't. Shin has to play Serral. One of them will lose to the other, so one of them's definitely... Yeah, no, honestly. It's looking very good for Astrea right now. Looking very good for him. Take a couple moments as we set back up here. Get back on track. All these games again, music's just going to be muted between the games, guys, because I don't trust what they're playing. Alright, back to the game sounds we go. We settle into this one. So, setting up, kicking off. And we have got Cure in the bottom left, Astrea in the upper right. Astrea leads by 1, putting himself in a very good position so far. Well, he's going to chase the probe around for a couple of moments. Just going to come across over there, seeing what we can do. As obviously, probe just checks in on what the Terran is up to. An expansion down, nothing to really scream and shout about here just yet. Again, Chrono boosting away, Stalker on the way up as we get settled down for a few moments. It's going to be seeing the Reaper continue to come across the other side as well. Reaper is going to threaten the idea of jumping up into this main base and is actually going to go straight in there right now. So in goes the Reaper. Just try and cause some trouble. Again, Twilight Council building up, probe, Stalker, warp gate all on the way in. Coming up, sentry coming through, and gets settled for a few moments. Going to be seen, and obviously with Blink on the way, we'll see how Astrea can put some pressure on in these early stages again. And he's just been playing such convincing games so far. You know what? I'm actually getting very excited to see Astrea versus Serral tomorrow, because if Astrea is playing this, I want to see, I want to see if you know, Astrea's just been playing really well, or if Shin and Q are maybe playing a bit below expectation, I guess. There's these Marines coming around in a couple of moments. A couple of mines still coming about, coming over that right-hand side. Just gonna come straight through for a little bit. Oh, thank you so much, Walgren, for the 62-month resub. I'll get you on the tree, mate. I have some new, very exciting gift tags today, actually. Helen just brought them back to me. They have glitter on. How can that not be exciting? Yeah, that's what I thought. Very exciting. As we get settled in, I'm just going to see a few Marines knocking down a hallucination there, so that will fall for the moment. Again, Dark Shrine coming up, the gates and the charge coming through as well. Stalker's going to fire away, but a Marine Marauder taking some damage. Some shots for the moment. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, Immortal coming about, getting on the move a little bit. Settled down. A few moments. We have our probes pulling in, gonna get a little bit cleaner. A couple stalkers continue to gather together as well. You see the Bio actually diving through. Stalkers and Immortals going to be there to meet this Bioforce, and that Bioforce is not going to have a good time. But Force Fields and Astrea is going to be able to push that army of Kua back the other direction. So, able to defend quite comfortably there initially. Good defense. And Vex continue to come across for a little bit. Having a little bit of back and forth continuing here. The Spy are actually going to get through and actually going to be able to jump onto this Protoss army, and Astrea has to fall back again towards the battery, towards the couple of Immortals. Going to get straight across into position on that one. As you see, DT is trying to do work on the other side. 11 SCVs have gone down. Secura is taking damage back at home. Seeing the another scan coming down as well. Again, try and see what else we can get done for the moment. Not too much though, not too much. $13 SCVs going down, so again, good damage dealt across the board. A little bit of a scan coming down again for a few moments. Just gonna see what happens there. DT just gonna strike, and the Depot will take a few shots. The Depot's starting to go down. Again, the army continue to gather together. Bio coming up this ramp as well currently. And can we hold on to this base as a Astrea? Would be really nice to just keep that alive without issue. Guardian Shield popping to give him a little bit more love. Just needs to get the Zealots in front. A lot of the Zealots are kind of hanging back. I feel like those Zealots could be in better positioned. I understand he was like spreading out a little bit, but they're maybe just a little bit too far away to really justify where they were. So definitely something to look at as the Bio comes around the other direction. A couple Stalkers going to be there though to turn that around as well. Just going to push that back without issue. Now we drop into the back of this mineral line, and it's also going to be some damage being done as Kua comes straight through. 7 probes go down. Stalk coming the other way. And Bio getting pushed back a little bit once more. And the Stalkers and the Colossus coming through the Prism. And we get another few warp-ins going. 15 probes dead, so Astrea's taking damage. Kira is finally getting going a little bit right now. It's going to be seeing our Marines and our Viking coming through. It's going to be seeing the Vikings going to land. Marines going to go after the Zealots. Fire's going to fight. Stalker's taking some shots. Going to be seeing a little bit of back and forth coming through. Q's going to have too much. Yeah, Q really able to start taking control there. And finally, Astrea shows some sign of weakness. Turns out you just don't want to let him play his game, basically, is what it comes down to. That is going to be Astrea dropping a map finally. So Astrea is vulnerable. He can fall. Thanks so much, Walgren, for the big resub, mate. Welcome. You are a glittery Santa going on the tree. Isn't that awesome? Hell yeah. It's amazing. You can go high up because I feel like the first glittery Santa on the tree should go into a great position. I want to be able to see that one. Beautiful. Thanks so much for the reset, mate. Why Dragon Balls? Because the goal of this tournament is to collect all the Dragon Balls so we can actually wish upon a new season of Starcraft 2 to be announced. Alright, give me a moment. Game number 3 going to be Amygdala. So, Amygdala to round out this series. Let's take a moment. Alright, in we go. Game number 3. Last game of the day for the Masters Coliseum. In a couple of hours, guys, we are going to have the WardiTV 2v2 tournament, so that should be fun. Looking forward to that. Should be a good time. Like I say, that'll be in a couple hours from now. So yeah, let's get into this one. As we see who takes this down. Nice to see Cure bounce back a little bit. Not because I don't want Astrea to do well, but it makes the group a little bit more interesting if Cure shows some signs of life right here. I did think if Astrea went 2-0-2-0, then it goes very, very clearly towards the idea of most likely Astrea and Serral are going to advance. Makes tomorrow not very interesting. Kind of the problem with doing the... Yeah, it's kind of... I'm not going to talk about it. The more I think about it, the more silly it is that we split a 4-player round robin group into 2 days. There's going to be legitimately some pointless matches tomorrow, most likely. And that's even worse when you've got to show up to play a pointless match. That might be a prize money difference, though, so I guess it's not completely pointless. Sad. I'm just sad, okay, guys? I'm just a little sad. Alright, SCVs and the probe are going to come across and see what they can do as we go to the other side initially. Just going to have our SCV still chasing the probe around for a little bit. Again, orbital command center coming up. Bring that straight through. Probe's going the other way, and I'm going to get back onto the command center here to go nibbling for a little bit longer. Get a little bit more damage done on that one, so yeah, a little bit extra coming through for the moment. Probe still going back the other direction as well as we continue to settle down. Next is just moving. Got CC coming up. Twilight Council, the choice again here from Astrea. We'll see if he makes any major changes to the blink plan from last game. Again, just Q able to start getting work done with some of those drops, able to start opening the game up a little bit with that. Definitely put him into a much stronger spot than what we were seeing previously. Has been Astrea just controlling the games fairly early, not doing like major super early damage, but putting himself in good positions and letting the games kind of develop from there has definitely been doing a lot for Astrea. You know, once he gets into a strong spot, it feels very difficult to disrupt him, is basically what we've been seeing. So, you know, one of the best ways to then, you know, maybe do something about that is don't let him play his game, right? Disrupt him early. Stop him very early on. The earlier, the better. Helene going to find that probe. Just going to knock that down, so that probe will fall. Chased away for the moment. Just going to be seeing a bunker coming up. A couple of Widow Mines coming through as well. Only going to get back onto the pylon here. And Hallucination just going to fly up for a couple of moments. Go see a little bit of what it can get up to. Just for now. Medevac going to come back around the bottom, a few Widow Mines involved, so it's going to come around as well. Get back across. And a couple Stalkers going to get warped in as the Widow Mine drop comes overhead. It's going to unload a bunch of Widow Mines, and Astrea pulls away. Obviously, the probe's going to get stuck in the back a little bit. The Stalker's being there means that unburrow, reburrowing constantly shouldn't be able to do too much, but overall, this is 9 workers going to get more here as well. And Astrea now loses 11 workers. Q bouncing back in a big way in this series, convincing game 2 and now a game 3 that is absolutely starting off wonderfully for him. 16 probes going down. Astrea is falling apart at the seams, ripping and shredding as he is going to get in the other side. And there's not a lot of units here, so maybe this is an opportunity to get something done. You got to find some workers. 5 is a very good start, to be fair. 7 to 16, honestly, does a lot to help out. Like, this was very, very bad for Astrea. Now it's a little bit more doable. Love the body block. Stop the SCVs from repairing. Raven is a target we can grab there as well. The Stalker's doing very well. Siege Tank is going to get sieged finally. We get rid of a few more SCVs. Oh, Astrea now attacking into the Siege Tank. You got to be careful about that. That is asking for disaster. You don't really want to let that happen. You don't want to let that happen at all. As the probes get back onto the third base, again, SCV count has been dropping down just for the moment. Now Stalker's going to get back into the main factory, going to get jumped on as well. You'll see the starport going to relocate up a little bit. The Marines, the Siege Tank going to continue to be there. Continue to fight tanks. Getting a few more shots off. SCV still going down, so again, damage being done. Just a little sad how much Astrea lost in the end, because I actually thought he was getting into a much better position. He was doing a lot, but he lost a lot of Stalks, a couple of tank shots, and that definitely has an impact on just how much he can stick around now, but still finding some value. Gets a depot here, for example, right, and this does add up over time, so steps in the right direction. Stalker's going to shoot, Refinery taking some damage. Stalkers just continue to retreat away, as the Marines are going to be around there as well. Tank sieging up again, Marines going to be there too. And the Stalkers are doing great. The fact that Kira is still not able to properly shut this down has put Astrea right back in the game from so much damage. And you imagine it now, obviously, Astrea probably doesn't do as much damage if Kira doesn't do as much damage in a way, because Kira does so much because he has a lot of units across the map. But if Astrea had handled it a little bit better back on the other side, I mean, that's the thing as well. Astrea also had lack of units on the other side because he was already counterattacking. So there's a lot of ifs and buts, but man, the damage that Kira did now seems essential rather than putting him into a position where it was just like, oh, this is good for me. Like, it really did actually become essential, more or less. Just kind of nutty. Combat Shield and Concussive Shell is going to give Kira maybe a little bit of confidence to get out on the map in the near future, so we'll keep our eyes on that very shortly. See how that goes. Well, Rain's going to fight. Stalker's going to have to be a little bit careful of themselves, just pull back a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to see a pretty good defense. A few probes going down, but you clean up a full medevac and Marines. I honestly don't hate that. It's not like Astrea's economy is in such tatters that a few probes are going to be the tipping point at this stage, right? I think he's already lost a fair amount, yes, but I think he's not like... It's not like he's 15 behind and a few more probes is like, oh my goodness, he really just can't afford to rebuild probes and also an army and stay in this game. I don't think it's like that at all for Astrea, so definitely do think this game needs to... actually very good. I mean, supply-wise, Astrea is looking great. It's a lot of army supply. On his way to extend Thermal Lance and Colossus too. They're not ready yet, so maybe we'll keep an eye on when those get out and see if they get out in time at all. A couple of Zealots are going to come back the other way as well. I'm going to try and shove its way up as Astrea was already poking for just the opportunity. 11 SCVs go down as Zealots get in the mineral line. Turns out the opportunity was golden. And there was actually a lot to get done on that one. So yeah, the opportunity works out wonderfully. There's the bio and the tanks coming back over as well. Well, that's just going to get caught. Wouldn't mind coming off for a moment there. Another group of Zealots is going to come in also as we speak. Just going to get that on the go. IO tanks all setting together, so again just joining up a little bit here. This is going to be seen our Stalker Zealot Colossus force. Going to start stepping through. Siege tanks are going to get surrounded. Zealots from all sides. But the tanks don't last long at all, and there's no way this Terran army can fight against those Zealots. And obviously as the Stalkers blink in to chase medevacs down, the bio kind of has to try and target them, but that lets the Zealots catch up, and disaster across the board here so far for Kira as Astrea takes a very fun fight. To quickly answer the question from the YouTube chat, is Serral still coming? We had Serral game earlier. Serral's games will resume tomorrow with more Masters Coliseum action tomorrow. So Serral will play Shin and Astrea tomorrow. So yeah, if you want to see the Serral game, you can rewind the stream on YouTube. It was the very first matchup. I was a little bit late to get here. Apologies for that. Some IRL issues. As our bio gather together, just going to be seeing some Zealots around the top as well. Well, it's coming about. +3 attack on the way in. It's going to be having ourselves, again, the scan coming through. Look to see what's going on. You barely missed anything? No, I mean, we really missed, like, an opening TVZ game that was just very standard, I know. Just in case you tune in, or you turn it, rewind back, and you're like, wait, why is Wardy not saying anything for the first minute? Who is the thing? At least we've got the stream live. That was something. Stalker Colossus coming up once again, bio gathering in as well. And jump through. Stalker's actually going to be threatened by a Widowmine there. Colossus is going to step up as well. Water's taking some shots. I mean, Astrea in a very good position here, poised to really pounce through onto that base. Astrea's supply is fantastic as well. Colossus are just lasering through things. There's no answer to it, and Q has to say GG. What a start to this group from Astrea. One map lost. Has Serral left to play tomorrow, but this puts him in prime position because at this point for either Serral, well, Q is 0-2, so Q can't get past Serral, Astrea. So for Shin to get past Astrea, because Shin lost to Astrea too, Shin would have to beat Serral and Q. So TLDR, if Shin loses against Serral or Q, Astrea is through. And it might even just be good enough on map score for Astrea as well. He also still has Serral to play against too. Basically, unless tomorrow gets really crazy, Astrea is looking amazing to move through this group. Isn't that a great sign? Oh, music, shit. Yeah, I need to do something about that. Because, yeah, again, the music is potentially copyrightable, guys. So I just don't want to take any risks with streaming to YouTube especially. So I'm just going to mute up when I remember. Alright, guys, this was a very quick start of the day. We will stick around and watch the highlights and stuff. So just a reminder that in an hour and a half, we're going to be live for the WardiTV 2v2 $600 Cup. So that's in an hour and a half's time. I am just going to turn the stream off. I'm not going to try and keep it live. I don't think we need to really preserve 1,000 views. It's nice, but I don't think we need to try and preserve it. It's not like we're coming off of like a 2K viewer stream. We want to try and keep some viewership going for our 2v2. We can just come back in an hour and a half. The stream will go up in like an hour and 20 minutes, basically. And on YouTube, we will be live on YouTube for that as well. So if you want to come back in an hour and 40 minutes, we'll be live then on the YouTube too. If you guys enjoyed the stream today, do consider subscribing on the YouTube, following on Twitch as well. I've not really been very sellout, guys. I've got a lot of IRL stress and stuff going on with Ellie not being well and stuff. But obviously, if you do enjoy the stream, you do want to support, do consider subscribing and supporting and donating and so on. I'm not being in the best mindset for doing the sellout stuff, but again, it is appreciated if you do, because obviously, especially the WardiTV event later and so on, I mean, these events do not fund themselves. This is the group as of right now. Obviously, Serral only played one matchup, so did Shin. So they have the most to say, but yeah, Kira is kind of out, right? Because you're going to assume Serral's going to win one more. And if Serral wins one more, then yeah, basically Kira's hope is that Astrea goes 3-0. Usually if you're 1-2 is the best score you can get. At 1-2, you have to hope someone goes 3-0, and then you get a 1-2 set of tiebreakers. That would mean that Serral would have to lose to Astrea and Shin, and then Q would have to beat Shin. Like, it's just a very unlikely set of circumstances, right? So yeah, there we go. These are tomorrow's matchups, guys. So yeah, these are matches are going to happen tomorrow. 3 best-of-3s a day here in the Masters Coliseum. I really think they could have stretched it out to 6 in a day. I don't think that would have been so bad. I actually like the old Masters Coliseum format more, which was 5-player groups, and then you have... No, I think they used to have 6-player groups, which is like 15 best-of-3s. But then you would do 7 best-of-3s one day and 8 another for a group. I actually thought that format was really good. I can understand reducing the amount of... I can understand reducing the amount of players, but I really think they should have tried to keep a couple more going. I really feel like we should have had, like... What was the last one? Was it 5-player groups last time? Even, honestly, 5-player groups? Oh, last time was Swiss. Yeah, honestly, even 5-player groups and doing, like, 5 best-of-3s a day would have been better. Yeah, it was 2 Masters Coliseum ago where they did the 6-player groups. Honestly, that was really fun. Yeah. I'm kind of sad about the format, only because we've seen cooler and better formats as well. So yeah, poor Ellie. Yeah, well, she's honestly, I think she's on the mend. She's, like I say earlier, she's trying to jump up to look out the window and stuff. And I was like, Ellie, please. We literally took you to the vets and left you at the vets yesterday because we were so worried that you can't move about properly and you're in pain. And today you're trying to jump up and do all the things the vet said. Don't let her do this for the next little while. Let's really try and, you know, get her feeling better. Today she's just like, no, I'm feeling pretty good. Well, actually, I'm not feeling 100%, but good enough to at least try. She's funny. So yeah, guys, we'll be back in an hour and 30 minutes pretty much. So I will see you guys back in an hour 30. Just waiting for... We'll watch the highlights. We'll watch the proper end of the show, essentially. Like I say, we'll be back in an hour and 30 minutes on 2v2, though. It should be a lot of fun. Fingers crossed. I was starting to see a pretty cool series between Astrea and Cure. I actually thought it was a very fun one. It was a very fun one. Yeah. Like I say, guys, these highlights play. When it wraps up, we'll be back. It's a little bit later on ourselves. Very exciting. Alright, that's it, guys. They're going to play some ads and stuff. So thank you so much for watching today. I will be back in an hour and a bit, and I'll see you guys there for that, okay? Serral vs. Astrea. Yeah, Serral Astrea tomorrow. All the other matchups tomorrow, guys. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Like I say, come watch some 2v2. 2v2 is fun, different, something a bit chill on a Saturday afternoon. 2v2 in an hour and a half. Boy! I guess I'll run some ads on the outro as well.